Let's just see what happens here, Jeremy. It looks like we were live for a minute and 13 or something, so I don't know. Maybe everything's all screwed up. Wouldn't
We're
be
back on.
surprised, but I definitely want to give a quick shout out to Suddenlink. Suddenlink is trash, absolute garbage. My internet was busted down there for a second. Hopefully everything's good and we can make it through Keeping It Rio because we got a really good episode today. So let's go ahead and do the intro. Maybe Eric will be here shortly. If not, we got a whole bunch of content from our week. So
Yes,
Keeping
sir.
It Rio, episode 65. Here we go. All right. What's up, everybody? Jeremy, how's it going today? How are you?
Good, good. What's going on? How's it going with you?
Oh, I was a little pissed off a few minutes ago about my internet. I hate being late for stuff, especially Keeping It Rio. I'm
Yes, sir.
pretty strict. So again, I'd like to give a shout out to Suddenlink. Hate your guts.
I hate your guts.
So it's a good week though. This is Keeping It Real. It's episode number 65. It's hard to imagine we've already had 64 previous episodes, but here we are. You and I have been on every single one of them. We're the only two, I believe, that have been on every episode.
There it is.
And we got some good content for this week because you and I had a very fun time since the last time Keeping It Real was on, which was actually we were in Miami. So since then, all kinds of fun stuff happened. And I feel like today we can do a recap of the events of the past 7 days since the episode 64 Maui or Fort Lauderdale hotel
Yep.
bad internet connection thing went down. So tell us a little bit about your week, Jeremy. How did everything go for you? We went down to Fort Lauderdale last Thursday. We did our show, and then after that, we went out and had some fun, right?
Yeah, it's all we did, man. We had some fun, a lot of learning. Traveling up there was fun. Um, Florida in general, beautiful, beautiful place. Sun was shining. All the palm trees were out. It was a good time. A lot of good speakers that we got to listen to. A lot of good um, advice and learning. So all in all, it was a great, great trip. Uh, had some little fun things happen on the way, which I'm sure we'll get into here in a sec.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it for sure. We had a great fun-filled adventure with our friends Clint and Leanne Koppel and Roy Brumbaugh from ASAP and K Socialized Media. We were representing Rio Blanco. And it was a lot of fun. We flew down, and I think we told the story last week about the guy on the flight down that was causing problems. So we don't need to rehash that full.
Did
But
we did we get through it? I don't remember if the internet was bad at that point, but that was
maybe it was. So on the flight down, yeah, we had a guy that was acting up. We had that one guy, and he was sitting beside me. And if it weren't for the fact that the penalties were so strict on airlines, dude might have got laid out. I mean, nobody really cares to watch a stewardess get yelled at and basically belittled by some guy that's kind of an idiot, quite honestly.
yeah.
But we through that. So
And what
we got
was the issue? Was just about him just moving his seat up, right, or something like that. Something small.
yeah, we were stuck there. Obviously, we're stuck on an airplane. It was American Airlines. A shout out to them as well because we have a return flight that was not with them that was absolutely amazing. So we'll tell that story too. But true to form with American Airlines, we were stuck sitting on the runway for like an hour for whatever reason. But you can't argue it. We're there. We're captive. We pay our great money to fly on the friendly skies, and whatever happens, we need to make sure we get there safe. So I'm not one to complain to the people that are doing it because honestly, that's one thing that I really would like everybody to be in a good mood when they take off. And I don't want the captain being all pissed. I don't want anybody being stupid, riling anybody up because it's an airplane, dude. Stuff can happen, right? So, yeah, he was upset because he had his seat back and he was kind of being, a little bit of a schmuck. He was And she just asked him politely to put it up and to do the. She wasn't even talking to him initially. That's the beauty of it. She was talking to me because I had put my phone up on the little tray table thing up there,
Oh
and I
yeah.
was just watching TV on it. And she was like, "Hey, can you?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool, whatever." I didn't think anything of it. I mean, I don't know what could possibly happen. Like, all of a sudden, the plane could like take a huge thing, and I could hit my face on it or something. I don't know. We were sitting still, but again, I'm not paid to think. I'm paid to sit there and obey because I want to get there safe. But the guy beside me, different mindset. He was not trying to get there safe. He was trying to be the loud dude on the plane that you see on TMZ and all those stupid little viral videos where somebody ends up kicking the shit out of the guy.
Yep.
And he got lucky because I had my AirPods in and I was able to put him into that noise canceling mode. So while he was talking, I just was kind of staring off into space, just thinking,
Can't wait to
get me out of here. I'm ready to go. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But we got down there, right? And so, like, after we did our deal last Thursday with Keepin It Rio, we went out to dinner on our first night in Fort Lauderdale to an amazing place that I have never even thought existed. I didn't know anything about it, but it was one of the coolest things ever. And we got a shout out to Leanne for finding this thing, man. Leanne's like the ultimate at finding cool stuff at places. And she found the video game themed house that we were at a couple months ago. And this restaurant was like, it was amazing. Everything there had themes, right?
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Shout out to Leanne because, yeah, she definitely does have a knack for finding the cool spots that really leave a lasting memory on you. And that restaurant for sure, Barton G's. I believe there's only two, right? One in Miami, one in LA.
One in Miami, one in LA. And what I thought was so cool was each one of them had a specific theme and they were like really like unique presentations. You, sir, are a culinary wizard. You've taken great pride in that. I think I'm also very good. You know, I can go to Genghis and I can like build up a wall around the bowl and I can, you know, I can do some work. So I think we can qualify as food experts when it comes to presentation.
For sure.
And I'm thinking, you know, I saw some really cool stuff. One of them was a baseball bat and a glove, and it was like sliders, right? Because of the slider pitch. I think you and I both had the same thing, which was pasta, right?
Yeah, we had the pasta. That was really good. Yeah, in school, when I went to culinary school, they always talk about presentation, and the first thing you eat with is with your eyes. And that's always the number one thing they preach at school is, you know, plate presentations and how to do it. And this was definitely over the top, which was awesome. You definitely ate with your eyes there. It's like every plate that came out that kitchen, I almost broke my neck trying to see what it was. And it was just so cool to see. They use a lot of dry ice, which is really cool. So the effect of that was awesome. The drinks were great. Food was good. Presentation service. I mean, they were real service oriented. So
yeah, that was just our first night, right? And I had it was like a lemon drop or whatever, and they put that dry ice in it, and it was just smoking. And you had the one with the boom box, and like everybody had a different one. It was really a cool experience. And when Leanne said before we even went, she said, you know, this is going to be an experience you guys will never forget. I had no idea, but once again, true to form. Thank you, Leanne, because you hooked it up, just like hooking up the rooms at the hotel. We were at the Diplomat in Fort Lauderdale, which is an amazing, beautiful place. We had all kinds of cool stuff there. We got to see all kinds of famous people and hang out with cool people.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, the purpose we went down was for the Blue Collar American Dream Conference, which was hosted by Lee Haight. And this was the second year in a row that I've got to go. And what I thought was cool about it this year was that this was the first one that you really have got to go to since you've been in the industry, like a real trip, and you get to go down and spend a couple days somewhere special and have a fun time. You've been to the IRE in Dallas when we could drive up and go for a day. And when RoofCon was in Houston, we drove down there. But this was like a completely different experience. And I wanted to get your takeaway as someone that's been doing the roofing for 3 years, but because of what happened with COVID and all that, you weren't able to really have the fun times until just now. What was your takeaway? You know, was it everything you were expecting? Was it more? Was it less? Was it exactly what you thought it was going to be? What was your first experience going to a roofing conference all about?
Well, for something like this, it definitely exceeded expectations. It wasn't something that I was prepared for. And I think this was kind of a unique one because Lee did it differently, where he's more into the fight game and understands, fighting for your dream and fighting for uh, a better way of life. So he brought that. I like that aspect that he brought in a fighter's, I guess a fighter's chance to do better, and he utilized that in his presentation as well. And we had the little kind of UFC type fights and stuff, so that was unique right off the bat. But I mean, it was way better than expected. I still have the little American Dream pamphlet that he gave us with all the speakers on it, and it blew my mind. I mean, you could just feel the energy in that room, feel the people that wanted to really excel, and it was just a unique experience. And I'm glad, and I thank you and Leanne and Clint for bringing me along to experience that. It was definitely a game changer, and it definitely puts you in a different mindset coming back home, and really wants you to go out and start killing it. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and to be honest, the lineup was amazing. Everything was first class. I had a great time this year, just like I did last year. I mean, when we weren't doing the conference, the first night we walked in, we were able to just actually like walk up and just start talking with Lee, who was there,
yeah.
getting ready, and he talked with us for about 10-15 minutes. The whole thing from beginning to end, I thought was first rate. We had some great speakers. The first night he had Jocko and Dustin Poirier both there, like pre conference, and then we did the fights and all that. Like you said, the fights were amazing. That's
Yeah.
just a cool thing. You don't have that. That's so unique, and that's what I really like about it. It completely separates itself from every other conference because of the fights and because of the mindset, like you said, being, fighting for the American dream and doing all that
Mhm.
stuff. Um, but the thing that really got me was not just Dustin Poirier, who was a advertised guest, but Lee went and got the number one rated pound for pound fighter in the world, Kamaru Usman, to show up and do an unexpected thing as well. So I mean, that's pretty legit. There was a lot of cool things going on there. The fights themselves were awesome. It was entertaining to watch Best Damn Roofer and Lee Haight go
Mhm.
in and like kind of do a grappling match. And to be honest with you, I mean, that could have gone any way right up there towards the front, right? Like I think BDR impressed a lot of people with his jiu-jitsu skills. He
Yeah,
kind of he kind of got a little bit of a hold on there, and
it could
that
have
kind of
gone.
woke everything up and made it kind of pretty real. So that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. I loved watching the fights. I like to give a shout out to the guy that was the roofing guy that was going down there and his opponent pulled out. I don't remember his name. I think it was Justin, but I don't remember his last name. And he went in there still, even though it was like sort of a mismatch. I mean, the guy that he was fighting that came in looked like he could basically like go kill anybody with his bare hands.
Yeah, yeah.
But this dude got in there and he fought, and it didn't work out because of the mismatch of physical. But anybody that gets in there and didn't want to back out because of it, I have a lot of respect for. And I actually saw that guy the next morning and bought
Hmm.
his breakfast because respect, man. You got to have balls to get into a cage in front of a whole bunch of people that are cheering for your demise or hoping you get your ass kicked or, whatever. And you have to be pretty tough. Speaking of pretty tough, ladies and gentlemen, look who we have here. Look at Eric's hair. He's looking pretty tough. He was at a kitchen table, but I'm thinking it was his kitchen table now because that was just a few minutes ago. Eric, how are you doing?
Good. It was at my neighbor's. That's why.
So what's going on? Did you get you a roofing deal over there?
We're working on trying to put something together for solar.
I love it, Eric. You're selling solar, man. How about how's everything going with you today? It's been a minute since we've seen Eric really on Keeping It Rio in a
I'm good.
respectable manner.
Yeah.
Last week's episode kind of sucked, so it's been a couple weeks. How's everything going with you? You've been on vacation. You went and did the kayaking and were waving at people and breaking the rules. You came back. You signed a few deals. How's everything looking for Eric and everybody in Rio Blanco Roofing, Tyler?
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your last couple of days, Eric. I know you took a trip with your family and turned it into a business trip. Why don't you tell the fans of Keeping It Real a little bit about it? I don't want our whole episode to just be about Chuck and Jeremy's weekend adventure at the Blue Collar American Dream Conference, but
I did. That's what
we
I
want
was
to
ready
hear.
for.
Well, we're going to get into that. Don't worry, but we want to hear how you're doing. The fans really respect you, as you know. The last time we saw you was like 3 weeks ago. We had Kendrick on, and he'd heard of you. He knew about you. You guys are friends.
We were on
So-
last week.
I know, but it didn't count. It was horrible. You kept saying the internet was bad. I found out you were lying. Our internet was actually really good. Yours was the one that sucked.
I didn't think so.
No, we found out. I watched it later. We could have kept on with the episode, but
At
you
least
you
we
got
had a
us.
view. At
You
least
got
we had
us,
a
Eric.
view.
You did your move, and you tricked us. We didn't know.
Whatever.
But anyways, what's going on? Hey, look, we got Raymond. What's up, Raymond? How you doing, buddy? Good commercial roofer, sales guy. He's looking for some sales guys over in Houston. If anybody in Houston is looking to sell roofs, I got a guy that's looking for you. So anyways, Eric, how's everything going? You're having a great day today. You're getting some solar stuff going on. You got some great momentum. You went down and had a good last couple of days with your family, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, we went to the beach in Galveston. It was awesome. Had a couple appointments in spring, so decided. Oh, speaking of that, is Brett actually going to go and are we going to get numbers for fascia and software? Or should I put something together?
I believe we already have those numbers for fascia and soffit. I believe. I'm not positive.
Okay,
I do have
just didn't see
Mr.
him in Aculinks. That's fine. So if we do have them, I'll get them and then I'll talk to her because she's actually looking to move forward.
That's
So-
terrific. That's a very nice lady. I enjoyed my visit down there with her, getting the roof numbers immediately, and I'm sure that the other estimate is together. And it's just a miscommunication, Eric.
Oh, it's
We're
all
gonna
right.
find it.
We're good. I never messaged anyone besides just going and looking, so it's my fault too.
All right. Hey, I like the way
otherwise,
you own
I
that.
went down there and speaking of that, I need to talk. That's another thing I should be doing right now instead of this Keeping It Rio is talking to the other person I went down there. But for
All right. I mean, you could do that if you want. I'm just saying, you can do it if you want.
I'm messing with you, Chuck.
We've got several people that want to fill that spot. When we were at the Blue Collar American Dream, we had a lot of people come up to us asking about co-hosting or being a guest on Keeping It Rio because it's very popular. And Jeremy can vouch for me. People were talking about Keeping It Rio in Fort Lauderdale. They knew who we were. They kept calling me Eric, and I had to correct them. You know, so I'm not Eric. He's the star.
No.
But yeah, you know, you're well known. So we were talking about some of the stuff that happened with us, Eric. You want to know some of the people that we were able to meet over the last couple of days?
Yes, let's talk about that. Let's hear
Okay.
about you guys' trip.
We're going to. So check
just
this
went to
out,
the
Eric.
beach.
My phone or my computer's all messed up, but I want to show you a couple of the things that happened at the Blue Collar American Dream. Some of the people that I was able to meet. I met the American hero right here, Jocko.
There it is.
What do you think, Eric? I met Jocko Willink in the gym. I was
I
there
want to play one
early.
of those guys is in the cage that were in there. I'd take either one of those guys you showed me that other night.
Which two? BDR and Lee?
Maybe
Check
if
out
there's
this,
more,
man.
I'll
Check
take
this
on.
handsome guy out. I was out there having a good time on the beach.
I almost see him in the background there laying down.
Here's the guy that I was talking about a second ago. I have nothing but respect for this dude. He went in and fought against a killer, and you win no matter what. You know, this was brought to you by Lee Haight. We've got a nice selfie there. You want to see some of the famous stuff that we saw, though, Eric? We had Lieutenant Dan Rooney,
That guy
Corporal Lieutenant Dan Rooney. Jeremy, why don't you tell the fans a little bit about Dan Rooney? He was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You got David Lucian, who picks up on small things like Eric. Once again, you know, kind of bringing the air out of the room a little bit, according to what David's
Oh,
saying.
come on. I've got a lot happening right now. The day's not over. Literally just left the kitchen table.
I know. That's why you should be more excited. So, like,
I am pumped, but like I'm serious. Like right now, like Joe and I are messaging about.
we had a
Ooh,
good time there.
that looks almost photoshopped. It's so good. It's so nice.
Courtesy of Leanne. I didn't do it, but check this out. I did meet Ed Milet also. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Met Ed Milet. Clint and Leanne talked with Ed Milet for like 15 minutes, and they actually knew Clint and Leanne Koppel. Ed Milet actually knew them from a previous experience. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, Eric. So if you do want to bounce, I understand.
No. I want to hear this. I'm
you
ready.
sure?
Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Ed my lad. I want to hear about Dan Rooney. I want to hear about Was Clint up there speaking? I want to hear about.
Clint was not speaking at the Blue Collar American Dream Conference, but we did have some great things. I was just talking about we had Dustin Poirier, the UFC former champion. He was a featured speaker the first day, and we also had Jocko Willink do a like a question and answer thing, and then we had those cage fights, which was really cool. The main event of that was Lee Haight versus Best Damn Roofer, and it was actually a pretty competitive fight. You know,
That's not
grappling.
the one you had on live?
Yeah, it is.
How long was it? Was it kind of fast? Lee just took him down, didn't he, right away? And it's like whooped him?
All right, Eric. It looks like BDR is coming for your ass now. BDR was cool with us. He was going to let me be in one of his videos, but it got rained out. And I want to tell you a little story about that.
He's going to be on our show? And I
He
just
did agree to be on Keepin It Rio, yes.
Probably the good one.
Well, this is going to be the good one now after what you just said. Shit, I'm going to get him on here next week, and you're going to get in the cage now.
I'll talk to him, you know. Where does he live?
Canada.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk trash.
Hey. So yeah, that was a good bit of stuff going on. The first day though, we got in there early. David is all about getting you and BDR in the cage, and we can do it because, as Jeremy knows, you know, we had a little bit of vibe with this guy. He invited us to do the video. It was going to be epic. I know whoever ended up doing it is going to be a star. It was supposed to have been me, and Jeremy knows that. He was there. He saw them even ask us if we wanted to do it, but it got rained out. So we were having fun though. We came the first day there, and we had Lieutenant Dan Rooney we were just talking about, and he was extremely interesting. I didn't really know much about that guy until that day. Honestly, I'd heard of his Folds of Honor, but I didn't really know what it was. It was a very enlightening hour speech, and quite honestly, I think he set the tone for the whole thing, and he could have easily been the last guy too. He was the first guy. He could have easily been the last guy.
Who was the last person?
Ed Milet was the last one. But yeah, we had Dan Rooney. He had his book. Jeremy and I both went out and bought a copy of his book, Fly Into the Wind, because it was an amazing story. And what his whole Folds of Honor was based on was he was flying on a commercial flight, and he had seen that there was a military member in first class that was sitting up there, and they flew back from wherever they were at. They landed, and they had got on the loudspeaker and said that there was an American hero on the plane. He thought it was the guy up there, but it actually was the guy's twin brother who was killed in, I guess it was, I don't know, Afghanistan. I don't know. He was killed, and they had asked the people in the plane to stay in their seats until his body was, taken off the plane. And what really got to this guy was the fact that before they even had the guy off, like half the people just, they didn't even have the respect to wait. So he started the charity, which is another thing I didn't know. And Jeremy, maybe you can expand upon that. Was it has to do with the fact that in our military, I guess, that if a parent is killed in the line of duty, that it disqualifies the children from being able to get a college scholarship or something. And I don't know what that is, but this Folds of Honor was based on that, and all the money goes directly to those kids. So it was a really cool thing. And his speech was awesome. He really he started the thing off like a champ.
And he did partner with, I think, Anheuser-Busch. So like Budweiser, Bud Light, although that family, if you buy those products, $1 goes to that fund as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, especially on Memorial Day
weekend. Grab one right now.
There it is.
Go get you a beer, Eric. Go get you a brew. I can appreciate it. But yeah, that was the cool thing. And his story that he told about how the whole thing went down, speaking of Anheuser-Busch, was he went there and cold called him basically. And he said that he went in and did his very best the first time. And the dude that was in charge of saying yes or no about it told him there was like a 0% chance he'll ever be able to get a sponsorship. And the dude went back and grabbed him a 6-pack of Budweiser and gave it to him and like wished him good luck, right? And the dude never quit. He kept going back, and he went back for 3 years. And he said after 3 years of going back consistently, he got Anheuser-Busch on board. And now, like you said, for every 12-pack that they sell, they give $1 to Folds of Honor and it goes to that. So that's a pretty cool little takeaway from
years,
that,
he
right?
followed up every day and got a case of beer and turned himself into an alcoholic.
Right. I mean, that's what I'd have done, but
But
he was
also-
persistent, and it started from the guy's garage, and he said that they've now donated over $20 million. So that's
so
pretty
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah. That's
And not
pretty
just the fact that he was a fighter pilot, he's also a PGA golfer, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that. Crazy.
he also got that actor Adam Driver, who used to be in the military as well, and the same thing happened. Right, something happened where he couldn't fulfill his tour, just like another guy did. And anyway, he's a famous actor, and he's actually on that campaign as well and helps raise money, which is pretty cool.
yeah, what it was that the soldier, he had gotten hurt in a training activity right before he was going to be deployed for Desert Storm, I think it was, right?
Yeah, Desert Storm.
And the guy went into real deep depression because he felt like he'd let down his boys, and he felt like he was supposed to be there, and he, let everybody down, and he was very depressed. And his daughter reached out to the Folds of Honor and was chosen as the winner of the deal. And then they had that guy, and his name, I don't remember what his name was. He's an actor.
Yeah, his name is Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, and he also had the same exact thing happen to him, where he got hurt right before he was supposed to be deployed. And yeah, Jeremy's got him right there. He was the one that went and presented it. But I'll tell you what, that whole story right there, man, that was like the first part of the conference where people started like tearing up.
Oh,
it was a very emotional conference, man. Like a lot of really like crazy stuff. But that was like the first part of it where people were really emotional, because that was a wonderful story. And I donated to Folds of Honor as well, just because I thought it was a cool thing to do. That was awesome, right? So that was Dan Rooney, and then we had a couple of other things in between there. The next main speaker we had was Jocko, right? And what was your thoughts on him? What were your takeaways on Jocko?
Oh, he's intense. As soon as he started talking, he was intense. He brought real good raw energy. The guy is he'll captivate the audience with the first couple of words he says. So he had everybody listening. And he just told his stories about the military life and how to be a leader, and just intense. That's all I can really say. He was an intense guy. He had some great things to say.
Yeah, it was super intense for sure. And the thing that was cool, like I said, is I knew that if I could be in the gym early in the morning that I could catch him, because I follow the guy, and I know every morning on his watch he posts a picture on Facebook or Instagram.
What a creep.
What? What'd you say?
What a creep.
I'll whip your ass, Eric. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, I was at 4:00 in the morning, and there was two dudes in there, and one of them was the baddest guy on the face of the earth, and the other one was Jocko.
Ready for this? Are you ready for it?
What?
I'm ready for it. Drop it, Chuck.
Drop what?
The punchline.
I already did. You fucked it up. I appreciate you, Eric. We missed you last week.
We were here last week.
No, you weren't here last week.
Miami.
I know. Me and Jeremy had a great time in Miami. We missed you there. A lot of people were asking, where was Eric? Why is he not here?
Fired.
Exactly. So the Jocko thing was cool. Eric just called me a creep. This is a dude who has John Randall's toothpicks in a freaking bag from a sandwich he stole them from. Calling me a creep. Whatever, bro. I don't even need to worry about judgment from you. You've set the bar so high that nobody can ever be creepier than Eric Schugel, no matter what I do.
And that, you know what's even worse?
Is
I was 13 or 13, I bet, at the time, or 14 maybe.
Right.
So if I was already a creep at that age,
dude, you've evolved. I mean, what the hell? That's all I can say. I wish you wouldn't have called me a creep. I was going to go and say something nice about you, but I'm sure the hell not going to now. But that was cool. So we had a good time with that. Then we had some more speakers in there. Some of the stories of the people that were called up to the stage, I thought were pretty cool. Like the guys who had the one dude at Lee's thing. 2 years ago, he had done 3 roofs in his entire career. And he joined onto the thing, and he was doing like 1.8 million this quarter. So that's pretty awesome to go from doing 3 roofs ever to doing 1.8 a quarter in just a year's time. So, I mean, the results are undeniable. I think it was pretty awesome to see some of those stories. We had a guy from our San Antonio market that was there that was one of the featured guys as well.
Nice.
And it's cool to see people, do good. Everybody was celebrating everybody. We all had a great time. Everybody was just enjoying it. But one thing about conferences is you always know too, between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can clearly see who's there to learn and who's there to have some fun. And I was proud of us because we were early every single day. We went out, we went to dinner, and we were responsible adults. All of us were. And we were early for every one of the speakers. We sat front and center at the very front of the stage. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. We had that other guy, Marshall Silver, who is a hypnotist. And I thought he was pretty cool. He got this girl to come up on stage and actually like eat fire with one of those fire sticks. Basically just got her to do it right there on stage. He threw a whole bunch of money out to the crowd. Like some guy was just like, who thinks they're about to get a bunch of money? And some dude raised his hand. The guy threw a bunch of money to him. That's kind of cool, right? I mean,
yeah, it was like a brick, it had $100 on the front, and I'm sure it was more ones.
Oh, ones after that. So what?
Still, it was probably a couple $100. I mean, throw it over
Yeah.
here, buddy. I'll take some of that. That was pretty cool. We had the what was that guy, Mr. Olympia, 7-time?
Oh,
the dude
7-time
he
Olympia.
broke Arnold Schwarzenegger's record. His name was Phil Heath. I didn't know anything about him, but he's huge.
Yeah, he had some good stuff to talk about. He was big, man. That dude was huge.
He was huge. Just 7-time Mr. Olympia. I guess that's what you got to look like, right? I was feeling pretty good about myself, and then I stood up next to him and was like, all right, whatever.
Back to the gym.
I'm not going for bulk. I'm going more for like lean. I'm trying to have
You're trying to be aerodynamic.
Hey, I'm trying to be a triathlete, not a power lifter at this point. I couldn't do it, but that was cool. The other speaker obviously was Ed Milet, and I think Ed Milet's was like the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Quite honestly, that's the third time I've seen Ed Milet live in a year. But this one was different because he like really, really, really got deep. Like, I think everybody in the room was laughing their ass off at one point, and I think everybody in the room was crying at one point. And I'm not even ashamed to admit that because I think every freaking person in there was. Yeah, and it was like the most crazy, like badass thing I've ever seen. Talk a little bit about that, Jeremy. I mean, you were there. It was amazing, right? Like it was a life-changing event.
Yeah, for sure. If you were not moved, or if you didn't have some kind of emotional, ties to that, or I got teary-eyed, I cried, and if you didn't do that, man, you're not human, because that story hit everybody. And I mean, you could literally just hang on every word he was saying. Like, he took the right dramatic pauses, the way he talked like his dad and some of these things. He was awesome. The guy really, really, I mean, he blew everybody away. I had never really, I had heard him speak before, but nothing like this. So the story he came out with just right off the bat was awesome. He actually had his sister there with him. So, you could kind of look back and he would like say, hey, this really happened. My sister was here, talking about his father getting in fights. And what did he say? He got in a fight at church one time after they got done with church, and he knocked the dude out and just drove off, left him in the parking lot. I mean, it was just, the stuff he said was awesome. And one thing that I really, really loved about him was he is donating all the proceeds from his book, which I know Chuck ordered one and I finally got a copy, that he's donating all the proceeds to the family in Uvalde. And not only is he donating that money, but he will match whatever the book sales were. And then he took it a step further where he got another lady to match what he puts in. So this dude really is changing the world, honestly, and changing people's mindset. And I'm just thrilled that I could have seen that. So.
And there's definitely a reason why Ed Milet is considered the top speaker in the world. And it's like legitimately because that dude is the top speaker in the world. I've gone to a lot of the events and I've seen a lot of the top people, like Grant Cardone always has good people, and, they all do. But that guy is just totally different. He's on a completely different level than anybody else I've ever seen. And I mean, I've seen John Maxwell multiple times. I've seen, like the really, 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 really good ones, but it was just different, man. I've never seen anybody be able to control the entire audience and have every single person like completely focused, completely paying attention. There was like one dude on his phone and he got called out for it. But it was like when a speaker comes up and does that speech and tells the story the way that it was and how touching it was and how emotional it was, it's like you can't replicate that. You could go to that same event next year or next week or tomorrow and have the same people, but you could not replicate that. It was the most amazing thing. So
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
One of my favorite things he says is he's like, he gets up there and he's like, I'm not special. I'm not the smartest person. He even says, like, out of the 4 people in his family, his wife and his kids, that he's the lowest on the scale, right? He does he's not the smartest in his family. But what I liked what he said was the reason why he's so successful and so good is his intent. His intent is there. He wants to help everybody, and his intent is to, help people in this world, and that's what makes him special. And that just floored me because, most people want to be that guy or want to be the smartest one, and he's just like, I'm not smart, but my intentions are good. I want to help people, and I mean, when you go for genuinely wanting to help people, you're gonna succeed, and that's why I can tell he's so successful. His intentions are pure. So
just absolutely insane. And it was a wonderful way to cap off that event. We saw Ed Milet sitting at the bar. It was crazy because I was just walking through and Stephanie from Atlas just happened to be at the bar and she called me out and she's like, Chuck. And I walked over there and I didn't even realize Ed Milet was sitting right next to her. I started talking to them for a couple minutes and I looked over and was like, oh shit, Ed Milet's like two feet away from me. So of course I had to get that picture. Because I'm a creep according to Eric, but I got a picture with Grant Cardone, I got a picture with Ed Milet, I got John Maxwell. It doesn't make any difference, man. Those are way cooler than rock stars or athletes in my book. And if that makes me weird, then screw it. But it was really cool because we got to sit there and he talked with Leanne and Clint, and he did know Clint and Leanne personally. He remembered them from the thing that he has. So that was pretty amazing. We had a couple other really cool meals. And we also had some fun times down at the beach. We got to hang out on the beach on Saturday morning. I got to basically go out and do my morning run on the beach. And I just hung out in the water while the sun was coming up. It was one of the cooler events ever. So I think the entire thing was awesome. We saw some famous people. Like I said, I even ran into the guy from Hardcore Pawn. Eric, do you remember that TV show Hardcore Pawn?
I forgot about that dude.
It was the pawn shop from Detroit. It was not Pawn Stars.
Yeah, I'll give you $100.
Huh?
I'll give you $100. That's what he said all the time.
Give you $100. You remember that guy, right?
Oh yeah, because he only gave everyone $100, and then he'd flip it for $4,000.
Yeah, but what was really cool about him was the fact that he always had really bad customers come in and people that were really rude and stuff.
Yeah, that too.
But check this out. I'm walking down the thing with Jeremy and
I saw the picture.
Look, man, I ran into the Hardcore Pawn guy and he looks exactly the same all these years later. He looks exactly the same.
I was like, he does look exactly the same.
Well, there's a weird story behind it, okay? The day before, we were all meeting down in the lobby and I saw his son. You remember his son from the show? His son and his daughter ran the pawn shop, right? Well, we saw the son down there and he's kind of small. And I was like, oh, look, I think it's the son from the Hardcore Pawn. But nobody really knew about the pawn show except for me. Y'all are way smarter. I was watching that every week. It was the one thing that was on my DVR was Hardcore Pawn. That's the greatest show ever. And if you've never seen it, I want to resurrect it. I would like everybody to go watch that show because you will absolutely love it in all of its hilariousness. But I saw the son and I was like, oh my God. But nobody was excited. So I kind of let that dream die, right? And then the next day, Jeremy and I, like I said, we come walking out of the thing and I was like, oh my God. And I walked straight up. I was like, excuse me, Les. And he looked right at me and he's like, yeah. And I was like, can I get a picture? And the dude was pumped because that show's been off for a while now. It's been 10 years. So, I mean, I still remembered him and he was really cool about it. And I told him a little joke as he was taking the picture. I was like, dude, when your show got canceled, I pawned my TV. And he thought that was kind of funny. So
Yeah.
that's a little inside humor that I got there with the old Les from the hardcore pawn show. So I think that in itself was
way
worth
better
it.
joke than the dollar store ones that I tried to pull.
No, your dollar store jokes were
No, that was money right there. When they got rid of that show, I pawned my TV.
It was.
I might have,
Eric,
I
this
would
whole
have been like,
weekend,
I would have laughed a little. I would have been like,
you would have. No, you would have cracked up. Everybody was laughing. This whole week, we had a lot of times where people were laughing pretty hard at some of our stuff. And I felt like, we had some good personality this week in Fort Lauderdale. Wouldn't you say, Jeremy? We had people laughing at the airport. We had those people that are always upset. They were cracking up. They were thinking it was hilarious that I didn't know how to get in or out. And it was good. We had some laughter. We had some fun. We had some good places to eat. We ate at a Cuban restaurant the final night, and it was pretty good. I wish I would have got something different than what I got, because I got the one thing that's my go-to, which is the Cubano. Yeah. I get that everywhere, and I feel like I kind of screwed up, but it was good.
Yeah, we did a lot of walking. We would go out to eat and then walk back, which was good. Kind of walk off all that food we ate. We did eat at La Tub, which was like famously known for their burgers, world famous.
Yeah,
burgers.
World famous hamburgers. And check out La Tub, right? This place was pretty awesome. We ended up going there, and like the decor as you're walking in is a bunch of toilets, like old school toilets that have been painted different colors, and there's like bathtubs and stuff. And you walk in, right, and they're like, okay, here's the deal. There's one chef and there's one grill. It's going to take like an hour to get your hamburgers, but it's worth the wait. So we had to make that decision, right? And we're in Fort Lauderdale, so we were like, hell yeah, let's do it. And it was worth the wait, was it not?
For sure. That thing was huge.
This is the best hamburger I've ever had in my entire life. And they had cheese sticks. They had some other chili. The chili was the bomb. But yeah, you had to wait like an hour. They had cooked each individual one, and this place was packed, right? And they did not negotiate with anything. Like, they didn't have hardly anything really as far as options. It was like, you get a hamburger, you get fries, or you get a hamburger with no fries.
Love it. Just like In-N-Out.
Just like In-N-Out, except it was really good. That's the only difference.
That's the only thing that was good.
The only difference between that and In-N-Out is this was actually delicious. And In-N-Out, I haven't figured out yet. We had the La Tub. That was awesome. We walked back, like Jeremy said. We got a lot of steps in. My heart almost exploded. I don't know why. I think my watch is broken. It kept saying my heart was like beating 130 or 40 miles an hour. So yeah, Jeremy was basically, as we were walking, and I'm not trying to be a hater here, but I'm gonna call Jeremy because he did it. He dude, some bitch was in some pain. I could tell. He was breathing kind of heavy. But no, I'm just joking. He would ask me what my heart rate was, and I'm like, oh, like 60, and his is like 130 or whatever. And I was like, man,
I think my watch was glitching because damn.
I was gonna try to run, but I was like, I don't know that the human body can maintain that for very long. So Jeremy just being here is an absolute miracle. Like, he's walking around at like optimum fat burning range, like constantly. Like, this dude's metabolism is on a completely different level. Either that or he's got a heart condition. Either way, we're happy you're here.
It was after eating that big ass burger, it probably spiked up my.
The burger was good. I mean, that was amazing. That was a great meal. We ate everything that was good. We had the steakhouse that one night over there. Clint and I had breakfast at the breakfast buffet. That was like $90 for two of us. I'm not gonna lie, it was not worth that. But they didn't tell you the price till they brought you the ticket. We paid $90 for a couple bowls of fruit and an orange juice.
Chuck met a little guy, a little person.
That's true. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We met a little guy. He was actually pretty cool. He was very cool. He ran one of the stores.
The canteen.
We had a couple things going on there. The canteen was a good store. They had Fiji waters. Only $10 a bottle. I mean,
it was a sell.
Yeah.
Were they all mini bottles?
No, they were. No, they weren't. They were full size, Eric. That was the funny joke right there. I love it. See, you come in. You weren't even there, but you still hit the punchline like a champ. That's tremendous.
Look at it.
Yeah, We had all that stuff going on. We saw so many people. We had BDR over there. We were going to be in his video.
Cool
He did
swag
the
bag.
singing. Jeremy got him a bag. Look at that thing. Look at that bag, Eric.
Little
It's not
swag
just
bag.
like any bag. It's got the fold of honor. It's Sky Diamond's bag.
Oh yeah, the little fold of honor pin.
Yep. We had lots of good food at the event. It was provided for us. Lunch was provided this entire event. They had some tremendous stuff.
Yep.
There was all kinds of cool stuff going on. All kinds of cool sponsors. We saw the roofer girl. We saw the best damn roofer. We saw just about everybody in the industry that was somebody was there. Clint Koppel, Leanne Koppel, Jeremy was there.
Roof Poppy?
Oh,
Now, Roof Poppy wasn't there, I don't think. We didn't see him.
What was the other UFC fighter? There was a few UFC fighters there.
Oh, yeah, it was Tim Crater. He was a UFC fighter who retired from fighting, and he got into roofing sales, and he's done $18 million in 2 years in roof sales. So
yeah,
that's pretty good.
I like that dude's speech. He gave a good talk. He was really cool.
Yep, he was awesome. I think all the speakers were first class. There was a lot of value to all of those. Even the guys that were like kind of not headline speakers, you know, like the Wealth Accelerator guy that was 29 years old, that's already a multimillionaire and was talking about all those different.
Yeah,
you know,
he was talking about crypto and NFTs and metaverse, and
he had a trucking company and like, you know, everything. The guy had everything going on for him. So we looked a lot at that, and I think Jeremy and I are going to open a trucking company now. We decided. We were going to buy a food truck 2 weeks ago, but we don't think we can afford the 60 grand for it right now. Can't justify that expense,
or we can use that for something else, right? So
exactly, we're gonna try to hook it up, and we're gonna find a way to make things happen. But we had a lot of time talking about Rio Blanco. We talked about Eric quite a bit during our trip, didn't we, Jeremy?
Yep.
That wasn't just us; it was everybody in our group was talking quite a bit about Eric.
Who was going to replace me, or what? When or how long they're going to let me stay?
Replace you in what manner? And what do you mean? Like Keepin It Rio or Rio Blanco, or nobody can replace you.
I mean,
Eric.
all
You're
of them. Like, how are you going to do all of them? I guess the more things I get involved with, the harder it is to replace me. I guess, right? That's my goal.
Yeah. You're a very diverse guy. You got Any Given Break. You got Keepin It Rio. You got Rio Blanco. I think you probably still work at Men's Warehouse on the side sometimes, just because you're just an enterprising young man.
No,
we were just talking about how much we really like you, Eric, and how you're a great part of our team, and everybody thinks you're just awesome to work with. You're the smartest guy for solar. Jeremy, would you agree that we were actually saying that about Eric?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just us. It was Clint, too, and Roy, and Leanne.
We gave you some mad props. So
BDR thought you were the best solar guy. He even came up and said it. I was like, man, that means a lot to Eric.
When he's choking me out, I'll let him tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to beat your ass. I can't wait, because I'm going to send him that clip. This is going to be our chance. We're going to have cage fights. I feel like
you are actually going to send him that clip, and then I'm screwed now.
Yeah, you're screwed.
He's funny, man. That guy was funny.
Everything there was funny. We had a lot of good times. We did get BDR to agree to be on Keepin It Rio. We also had some other guys that we asked if they'd be on Keepin It Rio. So I think we're going to have some really prime guests coming up here pretty soon. Everybody was asking about Eric, though. That was the common theme the entire weekend. We got on the plane. They were like, oh, it's Chuck and Jeremy from Keepin It Rio. Where's Eric? Is he flying in from Minnesota or what? And I was like, no, he's not going to be here this week. He didn't want to come to this thing.
I would have been. He's not invited.
You were invited. You're always invited. You're part of the family, Eric.
Perfect.
You're like that uncle that pisses everybody off, but at the end of the day, we're still like, Uncle Eric, you know what? Uncle Eric's awesome. He's the dude that like passes out in the freaking front yard on Christmas Day, and you know.
What is it from? What's the brother's name from the Griswolds?
Oh, Uncle Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah. Eddie. That's you, exactly. You are the Uncle Eddie of the Keepin It Rio
just shows
dynasty.
Shows up with a couple beers.
Exactly. A couple daddy's juice boxes later. Eric's passed out in the front. He's that guy. That's why we love him so much. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. But there was even more to this trip, right? We talked about all the times we got to go out. We had some good food. We got to do the cool stuff at the beach, got to hang out at the cabana, had some pina coladas. Went to the gym, had some fun there. But then Monday, it's Memorial Day, obviously, and all good things have to come to an end. Monday was our travel day, right? We're flying back home, and we got to the airport early because we weren't sure if it was going to be busy or not busy on Memorial Day. I think we traveled pretty well.
Yep.
But I want to bring up to a certain point now that I bitched earlier about us having to sit on the runway because we were on American Airlines, as you recall, on our flight there. On the flight back, however, we were booked on a different airline. Jeremy, would you like to tell the fans what other airline we experienced on our way home?
Yeah, they switched us to Delta, so we got onto Delta, which was a lot better experience, I would say, right?
I'm gonna say Delta was an A+, whereas American was like an F- for like the last 75 times I've flown on it. It's very consistent. It sucks every time, but Delta, this was a completely refreshing thing. Number one, I came to find out that all the terminals are different. Like each airline has like their own stuff in their terminals. I'm used to the American terminals, like at DFW, you know, there's a 7-Eleven, there's a Burger King, whatever. We go to the other place and we're seeing all kinds of craziness, right? Sushi restaurants. At San Antonio, we found out there's a smoke shack in the airport. I had no idea. I've been going to the airport for years. I didn't know. It's not in the American one. Delta, that's where it's at. Did we have any delays?
Not on Delta.
Not a single delay. Every single time it said it was taking off, it took off. It landed exactly when it said it was going to land. Everything was absolutely flawless. I give props to Delta. I love Delta. It was great.
You got to ride on the like exit sign seat, so you had like extra leg room.
Oh my God. It was amazing because I went up to the guy and we were unsure because Delta is a little different. They said they would assign the seats to you at the gate. So I went up to get our seats and the guy, he had an accent going on and I wasn't sure what he was saying. I gave him my license and I gave him my ticket thing. And I swear it sounded like he said, "Tell me about yourself." He was actually saying, "Are you traveling by yourself?" But I thought he said, "Tell me about yourself." So I busted out the jokes, you know, I was like, I gave him my Zodiac sign. I told him I like walking on the beach and everybody started laughing, right? It was funny. It was funny. Nobody overreacted like they do in American, where you get basically banned for life or arrested for telling a joke.
It's a good thing I didn't come.
No, Eric, it would have been great if you were there. And I'll tell you why, Eric, because there was somebody that we saw in the airport in Fort Lauderdale. You would have appreciated this. Who do you think we saw? Now, going back over the archives of Keepin It Rio, we've talked about many times where you went to the wrestling event and you had a bootleg shirt of the D-Generation X.
Really? You saw one of them?
Yes. Yes, we did, Eric. I
X-Pac?
believe 100%.
Oh,
Yeah, it was X-Pac.
No way, was it?
Yeah.
That's who you saw?
I didn't even get to build that up, though. Like, what the fuck? Why? I didn't get to build it up, Eric. It was X-Pac. So let me tell you a little bit about this.
He was the little guy. He was so funny to watch.
He is pretty small.
I didn't even try to ruin that. God.
I know. You didn't try to. You just, how could you have known it was X-Pac? You always have a way. It's because you saw the damn thing. You knew.
What thing? I did not. What thing?
You knew. It's cool. But so look, it was X-Pac. I believe 100% it was X-Pac.
Jeremy says
he doesn't look the same right now because I think he's retired and I think he's trying to be a little.
I'm trying to Google to see what he looks like now, but
he's trying to fly a little under the radar. But you can clearly tell it was X-Pac because he still had the same haircut, but it was like grayer now, and he had the beard, but he had the X-Pac haircut, and it definitely was him. I mean, it was X-Pac, dude. But I didn't even go up and say anything to him. But it was definitely him.
Got bald now, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's bald in some of them, but I think he's grown his hair back now because he.
The only reason I guess X-Pac is because he's from Minnesota.
It's X-Pac, dude. He's like a legend. He's my favorite of all of them, anyways. But it was definitely X-Pac.
Funny.
So during this trip, I got to meet such folks as Jocko Willenick. I got to meet Ed Milet. I got to meet the world champion boxer, Billy Lyle. You know about him, Eric?
I'll box him.
He's a world champ. Let me show you who I'm talking about here.
Current world champ?
This guy.
Like he currently is boxing?
No, I think he retired.
Oh, okay. Then I'll fight him.
Yeah, but he's still pretty tough. I mean, I think he's probably about your age, so he
That's
could,
great.
do some damage.
Yeah, that'd do a lot of damage to me.
Yeah, this one too. There's your boy. I'm gonna get that fight to happen, Eric.
We're in different weight classes.
No, actually, you're not. BDR
in-
weighed in at 190. I'm guessing you're right in that category. I know
Yeah.
you slimmed down substantially,
Damn.
but you're right in the 190, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in that class, aren't I?
Exactly, dude. You're a
gonna
super
drop-
middleweight.
I'm gonna have to drop down a bunch.
You're a super middleweight. I'm actually trying to get down to middleweight myself, 185 right now. I currently am weighing in at 196, which
I can't.
you guys want to know
that.
the secret? That is now over 90 freaking pounds I lost.
Damn.
I weighed 287 pounds when that fat Chuck fuck picture was taken.
That was the heaviest?
Yep. Oh my God, by far. Like I never even been remotely close to that, and I never will again. But this past trip took it over the 90-pound threshold.
Wow, it's impressive. Congrats.
So, anyways, Jeremy knows he was staying in the same hotel room as me. This poor guy, he knows I get up at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock every single day.
Yep.
He couldn't sleep, dude. I turn all the lights on. I turn the music up real loud, start freaking dancing around, screaming. It was awesome. I found the guy that was smoking pot too, man. Everywhere we went in this hotel, you could smell that someone was smoking weed. And I found the guy. He was a little old dude. And he was hiding from his family down at the cabana, toking up. It reminded me of Eric. He reminded me of Eric. Like that was the kind of guy. He was there with his family, and you could tell he was just like, you know what? Just trying to enhance it a little bit. Just trying to enhance his experience. He's out there throwing the football. He needed, inflammation of his shoulders. He's getting old.
Yes, sir.
So, and then check this out. Okay. Our trip wasn't even done yet. We flew back into San Antonio and we're walking through the airport, and all of a sudden something just freaking caught my eye, dude. And guess what happened? Jeremy got some freaking wall decor for his new office.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Let me see if I got.
Yeah, tell Eric a little bit about what you got, because it was something pretty awesome. It was purchased by me for Jeremy.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy you something good, Eric. I promise. But look at this. It was a $10,000 diamond encrusted Spurs basketball. I paid the 10 G's. Jeremy now has that in his office, and you can see the price tag on it. It's $10,000.
It's got Swarovski crystals.
Exactly, Swarovski.
Where is it, Jeremy?
It's in his office currently, right out front, man. That's at 322 West Nakoma in San Antonio. Jeremy's is the second one on the left. This is what Jeremy got. The Spurs fan cave.
Oh, you didn't get the other one?
The street value on that is just a little bit under the 10,000, but he didn't get the other one, though, because obvious reasons. I didn't have 10 G's on me.
But that's what caught his attention.
Should have been traveling with me, Jeremy.
Yeah, Eric's got the money. We couldn't travel with you. You don't allow us to. You don't invite us to your stuff. I would have gone to Galveston with you and the family. We could have gone swimming.
Would have been fun.
But you didn't even think of me or Jeremy. It was like we don't even exist in your life. He was very upset about it, honestly. Jeremy the whole time was like, man, this is cool, but it would be way cooler if Eric was here.
Yeah,
I heard that.
And I was like, you know what, dude? I agree. I agree. Eric's the life of the party. Tell us a little something inspirational, Eric. We're about to cut Keepin It Rio out. We're just about done for the week. Episode 65. I do have some badass guests coming up for both this Keepin It Rio live and for some upcoming interviews. So what are we looking forward to the rest of the week, Eric Sugar? What do you got going on? Huh?
All kinds of good stuff. That's all. I'm just pumped. Can't wait.
A whole bunch
of
meetings.
meetings.
Give us one example.
I got solar meetings. Finalize one of the two tomorrow. Finalize it so it'll actually be put on the board. I'm pumped about that. I don't know. I'm stoked. There's so much happening. Roof's still rolling. Johnny's coming back. Michael's coming.
It's on, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy's got a huge job going as well tomorrow. Tell our fans a little bit about your special project, because it's amazing. And then I've got one as well that I'll talk about, and we'll cash this thing out with that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got a full redeck going on tomorrow. and putting on some Atlas Pinnacle Pristine Hickory. So it'll be a good color. And also putting in an Attic Breeze. Shout out to Attic Breeze. We are installing another one. Man, we've installed so many of those things. So another one's getting installed tomorrow, and the homeowner is pretty excited about that. I'm going to take my new guy Anthony out there. Shout out to Ant, and he's excited because he's going to be his first one to see how to manage and run a production day like that. And it's a big one because he's going to do a whole redeck, so he'll learn some good stuff. So we'll do that, knock a few of those doors out there, get them out, get them noticed. But he's excited, so I'm excited for that. Tomorrow should be a big day. Shout out Gulf Eagle. They delivered it. Braden, Rick.
Shout out Braden. We love you, dude. See, we're gonna shout out Braden because he hooked us up.
Yeah, he brought us a cool Gulf Eagle banner.
So, yeah, he did. We appreciate that.
Rick's the man too.
Rick's the man. I do want to say something real quick about that redeck. The reason why Rio Blanco was awarded that job from this homeowner is very simple. He was working with another company since January.
Yep, and I got a funny story after that. So,
okay, do you want to tell your story first? Is it pertinent to that? What happened with him?
It's going to coincide with what you say. So,
okay, so yeah, this dude's been working with this other company since January, and it's a well-known company. We don't mention names, but it's a well-known company. But basically the guy says, hey, their salesman came out, told us they were going to do this, that, and the other, and then basically disappeared. So we go out and we're like, all right, well, what do we need to do to earn your business, sir? And he's like, I've already got my claim approved, but I don't believe that the decking surface is good enough for another roof application. This is going to be the 4th roof on this particular one. And the guy makes a very good point, right? And he says, everybody's telling me that it needs to be redecked. It needs to be redecked. But nobody really did anything to help the guy except for us. We ended up getting the insurance carrier to supplement for the entire redeck on this guy's house based on the fact that you cannot use this wood again. And it ended up being over $10,000 that he got in addition to what he was going to have. The guy signed the deal with us. We're going to put the Attic Breeze on. We're going to do the deck. We're going to do the Atlas Pinnacle. He ended up getting the best, but it was something that literally took us one day and someone else from another large company did not do for 5 months. When I tell people about training and sales, I tell them all you have to do is be just a little bit better than horrible, and you can really stand out in this world. So took us 5 minutes to do what 5 months didn't get done from someone else. Ended up being almost a $30,000 roof claim, which is pretty darn stellar.
Yep.
And this guy's going to get a full everything. He's got the full system. Everything's going to be branded. He's getting the extended warranty, courtesy of his friends at Rio Blanco Roofing and Restoration. Correct, Jeremy?
Correct. Yes.
So tell us the story.
So I go to his house today, talking with him, taking the drone footage, trying to get the before and after pictures ready. So he's telling me, he's like, man, just kind of praising us. He's like, man, you guys really, really stepped up. I'm glad that, I kept Googling, a few roofing companies, and you guys kept coming up on the top, list every single time. So I called you guys. But he told me, and I think this is when we were in Miami, that he got a knock on the door, and it was another set of that same company, but it was another door knocker. And he was asking him, hey, can I go and inspect your roof? And he noticed the shirt, and he was like, wait a minute, hold on. I got something for you. So he went and got the sample boards that they dropped off like 2 months ago. He goes, these are yours. You guys dropped these off 2 months ago. And he's like, oh, we did? Are we doing the roof? He was like, no, man. I was trying to get a hold of you guys for so long, and I couldn't get a hold of you. So I got a better company. He said, I got a better company to come out and do the job, but thank you. And the kid was in shock. I mean, poor guy didn't even know that they had already knocked it, presented the whole thing, and they lost the job. So
just goes to show bigger's not always better.
Yep.
But Rio Blanco is going to be the biggest, and when we're still going to be the best. So I respect that, that just shows right there. I mean, people take so much for granted. Literally, you're knocking on the door of someone who you've already basically abandoned that's been trying to get a hold of you, and nobody even knows. We've got systems in place, folks, that stupid things like that don't happen for us. But I do want to end with a story about something that happened today, and I want to give a shout out. I know we don't do the shout outs anymore, but I'm giving a shout out to Brett Newton from Rio Blanco Roofing and Restoration, our production manager, because Brett is running a commercial job for me in College Station. I'm here in College Station right now at my house, but Brett is running a polyurethane spray foam roof system that we are doing in College Station at a very prominent restaurant. And true to form with life, you know, Brett's doing an amazing job with it. He's been stellar from the very moment that we started the project. He's got the dumpsters out there. He's got everything marked off, safety, all the equipment. We had a crane out there lifting an air conditioning unit off the building yesterday. We had a situation where something didn't quite line up perfectly, but Brett worked with the guy at the air conditioning company and they got it all fixed. Didn't even tell me about it. That's how good he is, right? Well, Brett and the spray foam team tore everything off yesterday. They had it ready to go, had everything prepared, and then they're going to start doing this spray application this morning, right? So they get out there. Everything's good here in College Station. It's looking fairly nice, you know, nothing too crazy. There's some clouds, but it's not dark or anything. So they take the thing off, and guess what happens, Eric? Guess what happens immediately after we take the thing off and we expose the roof?
You don't want me to.
No,
What happened, Chuck?
It happened.
The sun came out or it got cloudy?
Neither. It stayed exactly the same, but you know how long it rained for?
1 minute, 2 minutes.
1 minute.
Did you time it?
Brett did. He timed it exactly. It was 54 seconds. We rounded up to a minute, but this is when you find out who a champion is, right? This is why I'm shouting out Brett Newton, because this guy is a beast. He calls me up and he's very calm. Y'all know Brett. He's not a guy that's going to lose his composure. He stays calm, which is very important because in a situation like this, everybody around is going to respond to the leader and they're going to react the way that he is. So he's very calm, and he calls me up and he's like, hey, can you come meet me? We have to go get some fans. We got this little bit of rain. Now we need to dry the surface off before we can start the roof again. And he already had it all figured out. He knew exactly what to do. So I met him. We went and got the fans. We dried everything off. To my belief, the roof is probably done now. I haven't even talked to Brett since that. He ran the entire project from start to finish, and I believe it's going to end up being perfect. The spray foam will be applicated or applied. Applicated is not a word, is it? Or is it?
Applicable.
Applicable. Eric, you got a college degree. Is applicated? Is that a word?
Applied.
Applicated. Yep. Marshall's telling me, dumb. I heard him. Right? Right, buddy? Iverson, hi, bud. How you doing? You guys go to the beach? Yeah. You had fun at the beach the other day?
Where is he?
Did you help your dad sell a roof? Hey, Marshall. Hey, bud. What's up? He's always happy. We love him. Marshall learned how to say hi since the last time he was on. That's awesome.
I think he's saying bye.
All right, well, whatever. So yeah, we're doing the job. We're doing the spray foam since Eric's going to cut us off, and we're going to finish it. And then tomorrow we're going to go back and put a top coat on. But it's the first of its kind for Rio Blanco to do this SPF polyurethane spray foam roof system. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're saving our homeowner a ton of money. We're helping him get a very amazing roof, and it's very energy efficient, and it's not that expensive, and it's very quick and easy to do. So give us a call at Rio Blanco. We'll hook you up with solar. We'll hook you up with all of the stuff that we do. Does anybody else have anything you want to say before we end our episode number 65 of Keeping It Rio? I would like to say thank you to Thump Hot Sauce and Mike Code. Jeremy, you're muted, unfortunately. You said something brilliant, but
no, I just said definitely thank you to them guys for sure.
Thank you to them. I will be working with Mike Code over the next couple of days. That's why we scheduled our Thursday show for Wednesday. And I appreciate Jeremy and Eric for being here for Keeping It Rio. We want to thank Lee Haight for the Blue Collar American Dream Conference. We had a great time. I will go back next year for sure. And until next week's Keeping It Rio, thank you guys for watching. We will talk to you all again next week.
Keep on keeping it Rio.
Keep on keeping it Rio later on.